Hi everyone, we're here with today's live and my 30 days of UX videos. And today's question actually comes from, I lost it. It comes from Christina. And Christina wants to know, how do you know if you're asking the right research question? And I love this question from Christina because it's rare that we actually consider this when we're doing any work or any research. If we're asking ourselves, if we're assigned a project and we're trying to solve something, taking a step back to figure out, is this the right thing to be solving? Is this the right problem to be working on? Is this the right research question to be asking? Is huge. So even just asking this question, I think, is really powerful. So to answer the actual question itself, in terms of are we solving, or are we, are we asking the right research question? And so therefore, are we researching the right things? It really comes back to the problem that you're trying to solve and the goal that you're trying to achieve. And so if you think about what the end goal is that prompted this research in the first place, is it something where you're just curious about what's broken and you need to understand better people's needs and experiences? That's one set of questions with one set of goals. And the goal there is really about discovery and understanding. And so if you're thinking about that, then you can figure out, am I down the right path? Am I down a path that doesn't make any sense? And to give yourself a little bit of direction, what I recommend is doing something like talking to your customer service team or taking a look at your analytics to see what areas are probably the biggest potential for places for you to solve problems. And so when you're researching, you can figure out what's going on in those areas. What are the things that are happening? A great example of this is when I spoke last week at Confab, I talked about a project in which we had to rewrite the content for somebody's website. And now that can span innumerable number of things. We've all been to websites that have 80 different paths to take. And that sort of thing. But what we did was we figured out, well, what's the goal that we're trying to achieve? And then what's happening for the audiences that we're trying to achieve that goal for. And the goal was to basically increase conversions from this web page. And the audiences that we were focusing on were, of course, potential customers. So not recurring revenue and not existing customers or employees, but people who had the potential to buy from us, who were in our target audience. And so when we looked at the data of what they were doing, we figured out that those people had been going to one page and not another, and then also buying. And so we found out that not only were people repeat customers, but they were actually, they were actually going to one page the majority of the time that they ended up purchasing, and also not going to a different page. And so when you're thinking about the content and researching, well, what's going on there? Those are two pages that you want to take a look at and research, well, what's happening on this first page that could be so compelling or that helps build the trust that someone needs to take that step and buy? And is the second page not being found? Is it correlated at all? Is it irrelevant? And if we made it more prominent, could that help us get even more sales, or would that potentially hurt us? And those were questions we didn't know the answers to, and so we set out to do some research around that. But if we hadn't taken that step back and looked at the data of what people were doing, we might not have known where to focus our research to answer that question. And so even when you're doing discovery and trying to keep things a little bit more open-ended, you can absolutely be sure that you're taking a look at what people are doing and what information you have now to give you a little bit of direction. So that would be my answer in terms of how do you know you're asking the right research question. Come back to the goals of any projects that you're working on. And if you're not working on a project and you're just doing discovery research, come back to the overall goals of the company and the different types of people that you're trying to solve problems for, and the areas where they seem to struggle the most as a starting point for your research. It's not the end point, and you'll probably uncover a lot of different directions you can go along the way, but it's definitely a good way to help you keep focus, especially when research can seem so nebulous. If you have a question, please let me know in the comments, and also you can definitely email me at hello@pixelsforhumans.com, and I'll be answering another one of your questions tomorrow. Thanks so much, and have a great day. Bye.